Welcome back to Study Skills for Success in College. This is Chapter 3, Managing Your Resources. By the end of this chapter, you'll be able to identify effective organization and time management techniques, prioritize tasks to improve time management, evaluate and enhance your time management skills, utilize strategic planning in large projects like writing a research paper, evaluate and maintain balance in your life. Understand financial literacy concepts, including budgeting, taxes, and credit issues. Build awareness of spending, borrowing, and saving patterns. Develop a personal budget and develop strategies to improve your financial health, finance your education, and maintain a good credit record. In this, lecture number 1, we'll discuss the following: an introduction and using time management techniques. When you realize that time is not a renewable resource, you begin to see how valuable it is. Once a moment goes by, it's gone forever. Time truly is our most precious asset. Like any resource, you need to use it wisely. Effective time management skills will help you get the most out of your life, both personally and professionally. Managing your time well has many benefits. Allows you to complete your schoolwork and meet your other obligations, often with time to spare for the personal activities that are important to you. Time management and stress management, when these are used together, can help you maintain a positive can-do attitude in life. This chapter also addresses the importance of managing your financial resources. Like time, for most of us, money is limited. Money can be used for a lot of great things: finance your education, provide for your family, so much more. But keep in mind that many people place too much value on material possessions. Your self-worth should not be based on how much money you make or the stuff you have. There's a Latin saying, carpe diem, that means seize the day. Basically, live life to your fullest. We're going to take that one step further and seize each moment by managing these two valuable resources in the best way possible. This chapter isn't the only place where we'll discuss time management. Like stress management, time management is a foundational skill, meaning it's important in just about every area of your life. But here we'll focus on time management in the broadest sense. How do you spend your time each day? Wasting time is the same as wasting your life. This doesn't mean you can't take time to relax. Some people might see taking a walk in the woods as a waste of time, but it might help you clear your mind, recharge your batteries, or maybe you just enjoy the beauty of nature. That would still be a good use of your time, assuming it didn't interfere with what you have to do that's responsible for you. No, a true waste of time is allowing minutes or hours of your day to be eaten up by things that are not necessary, unplanned, or unimportant. You've had the experience of getting to the end of the day and thinking, where'd the time go? Maybe you started the day wanting to do something to advance your goals, or maybe all you wanted was to do something fun, but somehow the time just slipped away, and now you can't figure out where it went. It isn't possible to get that lost time back, but it is possible to stop any more time from slipping mysteriously through your fingers. The first step, as you'll see, is becoming aware of how you spend your time and identifying any time wasters that might be eaten up without you even realizing. The good news is that you have already begun to manage your time by taking this course, by reading the text. The steps you've already taken on your journey to success, learning to manage your day-to-day stress, having a more focused and positive attitude, setting goals and objectives. All of these things will help you better manage your time. Stress can be a major time waster, and getting it out of your way was the first step to effective time management. Having a good attitude will allow you to get more done with the time you have. Your goals will tell you where to focus your energy, and the objectives or action plans you create will give you the specific steps you need to accomplish these goals. This chapter will show you how to put all these things into action in your already busy day-to-day life. So let's begin with exercise 3-1. To become an effective time manager, you first have to identify the time wasters in your life. Then you can use effective time management techniques to overcome those. In addition, you'll learn to use time management as a powerful tool in strategic planning for large projects or large assignments. Have you ever heard somebody say, there isn't enough hours in the day? Of course you have. And of course the truth is that every day has the same number of hours. We all have the same number of hours, the same amount of time. It's how we use our given time that makes the difference. How we use it. One of the first steps to managing your time well is to identify and eliminate common time wasters. This can free up valuable time for other tasks or activities. Following is a list of common time wasters followed by techniques to combat them. How much time do you waste looking for your keys, your books, or other items? When you sit down to study, does it take you more than 5 minutes to actually begin? Do you forget important dates, like birthdays, appointments, anniversaries? Exercise 3-2 will help you to evaluate your organizational skills. Lacking organization may only be stealing 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, but at the end of the day, you know this could add up to hours of wasted time. Not only do you lose precious time, but bad stress enters your life and makes it hard to maintain a positive attitude. So be honest when you do exercise 3-2, then continue with the next slide. Now that you have an idea of how disorganization can affect your life, what will you do? The best way to combat organization problems is to create your own specific action plan. One hint is to tackle only one issue at a time, moving to another when you've taken care of the first. Try to tackle several issues at once, you may become overwhelmed and fail at all of them. Tackling one problem successfully will motivate you to take on the next one, and so on. To get started, complete exercise 3-3, which requires that you develop strategies for getting just one of your disorganized actions into organization for saving time. One of the examples that's given for this particular exercise goes something like this. Do you often misplace your keys, glasses, or other important personal items? And here's the action plan. I will now put my keys in the cabinet by the door as soon as I get home. If I have to remember to take anything to school the next day, I'll put a note under my keys. That way, when I grab them in the morning, the note will remind me of what I need to take. This is great advice. And I'd like to add one more thing. Yeah, it's important to put things that you use on a regular basis in one specific spot every single time you put them down. But it's also important that we admit that we can be lazy. Let me give you an example. I used to be really good at forgetting things and losing things. Those two go together, don't they? One of the things I lost, quite frankly, was my keys. Now, the reason that I frequently lost my keys was because I didn't put them in a regular place every single time I set them down when I got home. So, here's an example. I come home, I walk in the door, and instead of walking over and hanging my keys on the key hook, I walk to my office and sit down. Because I went to my office before going to the back entrance of the house where I hang my keys, I just set them down on the desk. I knew that I was really supposed to go over there and hang them on the hook. But I thought to myself, well, I forgot to walk over there and do it. That's okay. I'll just set them on the desk. I'll remember to pick them up later. You see the problem here? I didn't do what I knew I was supposed to do if I wanted to remember my keys, because I'm so good at forgetting my keys. But here's the deal. I was being lazy. When I sat down and realized I didn't put them on the hook and thought, well, I'll just put them up, that was not me saying, I'll just put them on my desk and get them later. That was me really subconsciously saying, I don't feel like getting up, walking all the way over, and putting them on the key hook. The truth is, if I would have gotten up, put them on the key hook, and walked back to my desk, that 20 or 25 seconds probably would have saved me possibly hours of time looking for my keys. Let's say it was only saving me 2 minutes of time looking for my keys. It would have only taken me a few seconds to hang them up. This is all due to my laziness. The other thing that's important is creating a storage place or spot for specific items. So, for example, find a place where you're going to put your keys and put them in an appropriate storage spot, which would be a key hanger or a key hook. For loose change, for example, you could put it in a jar. For a phone or a wallet, you could put it in a small drawer or a small plastic container. See, if we make our spot for putting our things that we don't want to forget, places that are not appropriate for that particular thing, we don't remember it as quickly and as easily. Where are my keys? Ah, they're on the key hook. Where's my phone? Oh, it's in the small desk drawer where you put things like phones. So, I don't want to be lazy because my laziness really causes more energy to have to be used. Enough on that. If you're like me, you dread major tasks like writing a research paper or preparing for a presentation. These special projects usually require several steps to complete. And a poor strategic planner is overwhelmed by these tasks and spends more time dreading the task than getting it done. Sound familiar? Often poor planners don't even know where to begin. But just by using a simple tool like a large desk calendar, strategically placed in your study area, which could be the top of your desk, you can become a highly effective strategic planner. Now, you could use the calendar in your phone, as so many of us do now, for strategic planning. But a large desk calendar in your study area usually works better for a number of reasons. First, it's in a place, hopefully, where you frequently visit. The calendar allows you to write all your important upcoming events and deadlines in one place, and at a glance, you see what your future holds. Also, physically writing something often helps people remember. The action of writing helps you to remember. This type of planning gives you an overview of the entire picture, even if an event takes place over several months. So you're able to look at your calendar and see all of the things that are going to take place in that month. And some calendars even give you a broad overview of 2 or 3 months. This may be helpful to carry it may be helpful for you to carry a portable calendar like the one on your phone to note things down as they come up during the day. And then you can transfer those to your desk calendar later. But then you have to make that a regular personal habit. It has to be one of those things that you do every time you get home before you do anything else. Now, with regard to calendars, dry erase single month calendars become pretty popular. And you might choose to use one, but be cautious. You can't visually plan for more than 1 month in advance with most of these. And while they're likely cheaper, the desk calendar typically includes at least 12 months, and it's sometimes necessary to look back at dates later on and see dates from the past. Now you have the important events and deadlines in your life all written in one place. But how does that help you in strategic planning? Let's say you have a large paper due toward the end of the semester. A poor strategic planner waits till a few days or even the night before. Sound familiar? And they quickly throw together a poorly written paper. Part of this type of student's issue is procrastination, but most of it's just poor planning, and that's something we can fix. Let's use the example of a smaller paper, say 3 to 5 pages, that's assigned at the first of the month. It's due at the end of the month. If you use the following steps, not only will the project be much easier to complete, but the quality and the resulting grade will be higher. Place the due date on your calendar, first of all, in bright red or maybe highlight it in yellow. And then you want to break the paper down into specific steps that should be done with approximate times for each step. So, for example, let's say that choosing the topic takes an hour, and researching, gathering information takes, say, 3 hours. You have to develop an outline. That's going to take you, say, 2 hours. And then writing a rough draft may take you as much as 4 hours. Then you get feedback, which is important, and that's a couple of hours altogether. And finally, you rewrite and recheck the final paper. That could be up to 4 hours. Now, you know that it'll take around 16 hours to finish this paper. You didn't know that before you wrote these things down. Your estimate would likely have been lower. Now, 16 hours worth of work would be a lot to do in one night. But luckily, you have a whole month to get it done. Next, take a look at your calendar that's on your desk now to see where you have the time for each of these tasks. Make sure you give yourself plenty of time before the deadline to complete your paper. This way, you'll have some extra time in case something takes longer than you thought it would, or if something unexpected comes up, like maybe your printer broke down. You can write these tasks on your desk calendar in blocks of time. For example, you might break your research time into 2 days of 1.5 hours each. Remember, your first few attempts are learning experiences. Keep notes on areas that didn't go as planned so you can improve in the future. Now that you have your major tasks planned, you can continue to update your calendar and repeat this process for each assignment. Exercise 3-4 gives you a chance to try this out. Do you have personal habits that waste your time? Of course you do. We all do. Worry and procrastination are two of the most common. Yep, those are personal habits. We've talked about how worry has wasted negative energy. If you find yourself worrying a lot, review the difference between worry and concern. Remember, we even discussed how to turn worry into concern by creating and writing down and then acting upon a plan. Procrastination is the putting off of something until the last possible minute, and it can be a large waste of time. It and worry are enemies of time management. One of the causes of procrastination is the fear of failure. Another is the fear of success. If I do well, I'll have more responsibility. Both fears are deep-seated. Other personal habits that could be classified as time wasters could include phone usage, video games, social media. How many times have all of us thought, I'll just check my phone real quick. How often does that lead to half an hour wasted? The daily to-do list is a vital resource for time management. Here are some helpful hints with regard to this resource. Do not make your list very long. Focus on 3 to 6 high priority items and think of the rest as extra credit. This number may seem small to very busy people. If you accomplish 3 to 6 items each day, though, you'll be amazed at how much you can do over time. It's worthless to write down 10 to 15 things and completing none of them because you're overwhelmed by the number of items. In other words, keep it simple, keep it short. Find ways to make the tasks interesting. Have a positive attitude. Do your most demanding work early in the day when you're fresh and alert. Reward yourself when you get a job done. Organize your desk so you're not wasting time trying to find things, pencils, dictionaries, other supplies. Control interruptions and commit to finishing what you start. And thanks for listening.